Oh. All right. We good? We live? Okay, I think we're good. All right, everyone. Welcome to this very first watch along. And I thought for my first watch along, I think I'd go with Casino Royale because obviously No Time to Die was supposed to come out in April, and obviously that got pushed back. And I've been watching all the Bond movies, and I'm in a real James Bond kick. So hopefully you guys have your own copies of Casino Royale ready. I believe it just got added to Prime like a couple days ago. So if you guys don't have your own copies of it, you can find it on there or try to find a copy of it online. I'll be watching it on my computer. And yeah, this is my first watch along, so let's see how it goes. If you guys want to talk in the chat, I will definitely be looking at the chat over here, and I'll be watching the movie over here. I'll be saying some comments here and there. Yeah, let's watch this movie, guys. So hopefully you guys can see me okay. Hopefully it's streaming all right. Hopefully you guys can hear me okay. Yeah. And then, of course, we have the timer in the corner here. I set up just so that we know exactly what time of the movie we're going to be watching together. So if you guys are ready, I'll give you guys maybe another 30 seconds to get ready. I'm ready, and I cannot wait to watch this movie again. I've watched all of the James Bond movies over the last couple months, Dr. No up to Dine of the Day. And Dine of the Day was so bad. It was so bad. So I can't actually wait to watch a good James Bond movie, because we haven't really watched a really good one since GoldenEye. Say what you will about Tomorrow Never Dies and World Is Not Enough, but I'm really looking forward to this. Anyways, hopefully you guys are ready. And how's it going, Cam? We got someone in the chat already. Okay, so if you guys are ready, we'll start it. 3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, I saw you posted that too, the Chris Stuckman's review. The Pierce Brosnan tier list will be coming out on Sunday. That was the first James Bond movie I ever saw. So I'll say cheers to you guys. This is a rum and Coke. I have a couple more waiting for me. Got my rum and my Coke ready. I wanted to do a martini, but I'm not really a vodka guy, so cheers. Let's watch this movie. It's very risky to open the movie without a gun barrel, but obviously, if you guys will see, it was well worth it. It was a good choice. And that's Daniel Craig's introduction. Great way to open the movie. Great way. For a second there, I thought the stream was in black and white, and I was getting really freaked out. But yeah, just the beginning. Oh, I didn't know that. I didn't know if it was different in the UK. Considerably. And then comes the gun barrel. So great. And I love this pre-title sequence. I love the song. It's just a great boost of energy for a new Bond, a new era, a new reboot, everything. I love this song because it feels so modern, but yet it feels so classic because it's those same three notes. Na, 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 na. It's those three notes. If you have those three notes in any Bond song, it'll sound like James Bond. Yeah. Like the Billie Eilish one has that, for sure. And you can see Vesper Lynd's face right here. I always say to new Bond fans, this is the film to start off with. Yeah, exactly. Arm yourself because no one else here will save you. The odds will betray you. And I will replace you. Oh yeah, right. Paul Haggis wrote it. I forgot about that, yeah. I find it funny that Martin Campbell came back to direct this movie, and he was amazing. He directed GoldenEye and this. Uganda. I think this was the first time that Bond was actually in Africa, or a Bond movie took place in Africa. And I mean Africa, Africa, not Cairo and The Spy Who Loved Me. I'd love to see Richard Madden play James Bond. And I don't even think they need to reboot the franchise, just keep going. Here's Mr. White. One of the best Bond villains ever, Le Chiffre, by Mads Mikkelsen. Now, it's a question for all of you in the chat. Who would you like to see as the new James Bond? Adrian Turner, Michael Fassbender, Tom Hiddleston, Tom Hardy. I'd love to see Richard Madden. He's my choice. Oh, great villain. It's a great reveal too. Yeah, I think Richard Madden has the looks, he has the charm, he has the swagger. And I think he could do the action sequences. It's a lot of cash. God, I love this movie so much. You ever have that when you start watching a movie and then right at the beginning you're just like, you know what ride you're going to go on? And you're like, oh, so excited. And I still can't decide if I like this one more than Skyfall. It's a toss-up. Like, if you ask me one day, I'll say one or the other. It's really great. Gary Oldman would play a great Bond villain. Yeah, he's pretty well known, but Academy Award winner, I think he could do it. And he's British. Joaquin Phoenix would be a good choice. Yeah, this guy's an idiot. Why would you put your hand up to your ear? Mm-hmm. This is like the pre-title sequence. And what a great way to start after Dine of the Day with just all that CGI and all that crap, and then you start with this scene. Just, it's so wonderfully shot, and it, actual stunts. And you get this guy. I think he I don't know if he invented parkour, but he definitely was one of the founding fathers, if you will. And I can't wait for another Bond movie with a new actor, because when I started becoming a Bond fan, Daniel Craig was the actor at the time. So I have yet to watch that movie. It's like, this is a new actor. Like, you know what I mean? Even though Die Another Day was my first James Bond movie. I got it on a VHS tape when I was like, I don't know, 11, 12? I don't know how old I was, but that was my first James Bond one. Yeah, this part right here. And I love how David Arnold's score incorporates the song You Know My Name from the beginning of the movie. It's great. Great stuff. If this was Pierce Brosnan, like, this might be a CGI scene completely. Jesus. He's a pretty good shot. 2 shots, 2 kills. Although they were innocent, they didn't need to die. Yeah, free running. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for, not parkour, but like yeah, he's awesome. It's like how like Richard Park was in X-Men, like the guy who was Darth Maul, kind of similar. Man, David Arnold is so good at the Bond score. Love that. Love that. Bond got really lucky there. His whole 00 career could have been over right there. Like, that's insane. That's insane. Which Star Wars scenes are they similar to? Just curious. Like, I think this is the perfect scene to introduce a new Bond. Like, a crazy scene like this of free running. I think for the next actor, like, I think they have to start with a totally groundbreaking action scene or story element, like something just unbelievable. Like, that's just so great. Bond just says, screw it, I'm gonna go right through the wall. Ah, gotcha. Just send a question in the chat. GoldenEye, On Her Majesty's Secret Service. Those ones are definitely memorable, for sure. On Her Majesty's Secret Service. I always remember the score and the title song. And Goldfinger's great too. Like, this has so much energy compared to the Pierce Brosnan movies, or at least especially Die Another Day. Like, Martin Campbell's really great at, bringing that youthful energy to Bond. He's done it twice. He probably won't come back for the third one if they do another actor, because of Green Lantern, but yeah. Oh, I love this scene. Just shows that we're in a new era of Bond, and this is his first real mission. So masterfully done. I put too much rum in there. Just shows Bond's ego. He can't lose. He cannot stand the idea of being defeated. So, you know what? We needed him alive, but you know what? We'll shoot him just so he can get away. Yeah, that's totally what he was going for, and it's great. See a bomb. We see his cell phone. Yeah, the technology's a little dated in this movie, but you know what? It's not like distracting. Unlike in I think it's For Your Eyes Only, like the face recognition stuff. Ellipsis. Remember that one. And everyone, my grandmother's watching, so say hi to her. Say hi to Mary for me. Cheers. And that's pretty bad green screen, but I'll let it pass. Oh, it's so creepy. Crying blood. Yeah, I hope No Time to Die is really good. Every time I watch this movie, I want to play Texas Hold'em. Jesus. Get off my boat, or we'll get you off your boat sooner. Yeah, British agent kills unarmed prisoner. I've been to London once, and Big Ben was under construction. I love Judi Dench. It's a great line. I know some Bond fans are like, I don't know why Judi Dench came back, because then the whole timeline is like, she's a good actress. She was probably the best Bond M we've ever had. Batflack's a lucky man, yeah. Physical defect? I don't know. I don't think so. Something memorable about them. Like Sanchez has his loyalty. And then, yeah, seeing that one text came from the Ocean Club in the Bahamas. It's funny, my sister used to love this Mary-Kate and Ashley movie, and it took place at this like resort in the Bahamas, and you can see it in this movie. Just a fun little fact. I love this scene. She's so good. She's so good. Yep, Daniel Craig's my favorite Bond. He just is. There's that word again. Ego. I really do hope that No Time to Die is like a great just sum up of all of his movies. It's funny, everyone's like, is M James Bond's mother? It's just the British way of saying ma'am. Although when I was in London, I tried to track down as many 007's locations as I could. A very classic 007 location, somewhere in some tropical country. This is the hotel I'm talking about. That little archway, and it's got like some really big water slide. This is a great shot, by the way. Makes me want to, wear a suit. I was thinking about wearing a suit for this video, but I'm like, I'm going to be sweating like crazy. So just t-shirt it is. And he's driving a Ford. Why not? And then there's David Arnold's score. Sick phone, man. Sony Ericsson. Yeah, when I was watching some Timothy Dalton interviews, he talked about, how he wanted to play James Bond like Ian Fleming's books. Like, he read all the books, and he's like, he's a blunt instrument of the Her Majesty's government. I love this scene, too. This movie's just scene after scene after scene of just perfection. Hey, Canada. Good old Canadian flag in the back. In England, they drive on the left, or in the Bahamas? I think you mean England, because they have the steering wheel on the left side. Boom. He just doesn't give a shit. Just keys, boom, done. Oh, I didn't even notice that. The guy who owned the car just ran by. Man, I'm gonna have to cancel my trip down to LA and Miami pretty soon because of the coronavirus. And watching this movie in a tropical location just makes me want to go down to the sun and palm trees. And one day they'll come back. Australia, yeah. That little smirk. Yeah, man, that sucks. New York would have been sick too. But in this time, it's not looking too good. Yeah, man. I feel your pain. You see all the Sony products? Because this is a Sony movie, after all. The classic Aston Martin car. Nine 1222. That's our man, Dimitrios. Yeah, they do own Blu-ray. Sony does own them. And look at this, yeah. Uses his charming skills to get information. And so here's a role reversal of Honey Rider coming out of the water, all sexy in her bikini, and now comes Daniel Craig and, one of the most... I have a problem doing that. I mean, maybe it's the booze, but the scene. And I'm straight, and I'm like, wow. Damn. No, he's a fit dude. I guess she would be considered oops. I wasn't looking, man. I swear. I guess she'd be the first Bond girl. I guess there's no Moneypenny in this movie either. Kind of haven't really thought about that. No Moneypenny, no Q. Love to go to the Bahamas. Been to Playa del Carmen, Mexico. It's the closest I've been to the Bahamas. Yeah, it's the guy. I wouldn't treat you that way, my lady. But yes, no, Steve and I agree with you. And with Bond fans, I think that most people are pretty accepting of other people's opinions, not like Star Wars fans where they just get all uppity about it. They hear, oh, we like this movie more than this movie. They go, oh, interesting. Unlike Star Wars fans where they just get all, eh. I do like that's how Bond got his car. He won it playing poker. Oh, dab. Sorry about that. And the Valley ticket. No, he doesn't cheat. No, Bond never cheats. Yeah, you know what? I agree with you. I think the Bond fandom is one of the most least toxic ones. So I know a lot of like pickup artists and like, how to pick up women YouTube channels. They always talk about this scene. Ice cold. Right there, she wants him. Man, James Bond is so smooth. And this scene shows that he can be as smooth as Roger Moore or Brosnan or Connery. Dalton wasn't the most smooth, but he was probably the most blunt and most dangerous. Dalton is dangerous. This is so great. Nice one, Bond. I feel like Scarlett Johansson's too famous to be a Bond girl, but she could do it. Something big's about to go down. Great line coming up. Oh. What's that girl's name? I'm watching you, PG-13 movie. Whoops. This is on the desk. The microphone will pick it up. Flight to Miami. That's a good choice. Marina Baccarin. I love the scene, too, because Bond gets his information he needs, and he's like, okay, boom, mission time. So this is probably my favorite action scene in the film. One of my favorite in Bond history. The Miami airport scene. And I think he's been to every single location in this movie at least once in other Bond movies. Like, he's been to Miami in Goldfinger. He's been in Montenegro in GoldenEye. He's been to Venice in From Russia with Love. It's one thing I'm noticing now after watching all 20 Bond films before the Daniel Craig era. I didn't drink this whole thing today. Don't worry. I wouldn't be alive if I did that. Is anyone in the chat watching this for the very first time? I'll answer that question in a second. Nice, Heidi. I hope you like it. Hey, Tony. So what I'm doing is, for Sean Connery, Roger Moore, Pierce Brosnan, and Daniel Craig, I'm going to do a tier list, like a ranking video. And then for Lazenby and Dalton, I'm going to do individual reviews. License to Kill was just reviewed yesterday, or was released yesterday. And then the Pierce Brosnan tier list will come out on Sunday. Man, I wish I would have seen this movie in theaters. The first Bond movie I ever saw in theaters was Skyfall. Yeah. Man, how lucky. Call him. He's right there. So yeah, doing tier lists of all the movies, or all the actors who've done more than 3 movies, or more than 2, I guess I should say, and then individual reviews for the Lazenby movies and the Dalton movies. And then I thought, might as well try a watch along for Casino Royale. No, he's planning something, and this is the plan going through. So he's shorted a bunch of stocks for what's the company called? Skylink or something. And then Demetrius was hiring a bomb maker who was the guy in the beginning, but obviously he was killed, and now we've got this guy as a replacement. And so this is the plan taking place. And this movie just feels a lot more grounded and realistic because it's taking place in an airport, you know? I'm getting pumped already. Skyfleet. Yeah, he would be. James Bond would be the perfect guy for an escape room. This action scene's so good. Tracy and Stacy, those are good answers. It's hard to argue with those. Although I'd put Denise Richards' Christmas Jones as the worst. Although, oh, I love this. Stacy was pretty bad. Ah, great stunt. Yeah, Olga Kurylenko. I don't think it was her fault though. I don't blame her her performance. I just think it was just a bad movie. And I did like The World Is Not Enough, but it's a frustrating movie because I see a much better movie in there, but there's some of the choices that just really derail it. You'll see it in my Pierce Brosnan tier list, my actual thoughts on the movie. It's hard to argue against you, Chris. Yeah, that's true. Mads Mikkelsen was Galen Erso. Oh, God. Yeah, the whole Electra King storyline in that movie is really great. Oh, I didn't notice a toy bus. They probably use miniatures. But Jesus Christ, this action scene is just great. Oh, there you go. He sees the bomb. What's he gonna do? Spoiler alert for The World Is Not Enough in the chat. It's not the best Bond movie in the world, so I'll let it slide. No spoilers for this movie, though. Please. There are some people who have not seen it yet. I'd be freaking out. It's all good, man. It's all good. Just in case people have not seen that movie and want to watch it. But if you guys were to watch one Brosnan movie, it'd be GoldenEye. I'll shut up. This is a good part. Ouch. $100 million down the tubes. Yeah, someone did talk. Yeah, GoldenEye's up there for me for sure. I have my ranking somewhere. see. Chump change. Might be for you, Nerd Shuffle. And yep. First Bond girl death. Without Daniel Craig movies into account, I have GoldenEye's number 4 as well. Oh, sorry about that, guys. My dog's barking outside. Apologize for that one, guys. What's going on, Movie Files? I'll respond in a second. It's a good line to remember. All right, time to play some poker. And then in this next scene, I know a lot of guys are like, okay, you gotta like watch what Bond does. This is how you pick up women, everyone. You gotta be like confident. You gotta be straight. You gotta be comfortable in your own skin. You gotta like, all this stuff. But yeah, I might review Never Say Never Again. Maybe. Every penny of it. Yeah, kinda. Roger Moore's was. Same with Sean Connery. The older Bonds were a bit more misogynistic than now. It was just the times. Oh. Yeah, it's 7 p.m., so we're clapping the healthcare workers. Oh, great. Sorry. I'll turn that down. Thanks, buddy. The Living Daylights is great. One of my favorites. Vesperland, Best Bond Girl. She's pretty great. Great, great line. Yeah, it was a watch sponsor plug. This is a Sony movie after all. We have Sony cameras, Sony DVDs, or Blu-rays, I should say, Sony cell phones, Sony laptops. Although it's not too distracting in this. I just notice it because it's a Sony movie. Engine doesn't start. Miss Tiffany Broadchest. Too smooth. Too smooth. I have watched the Cornetto trilogy, all three of them, with Hot Fuzz being my favorite. And yeah, I mean, I remember people saying, like, Bond can't be blue-eyed and blonde-haired. Mr. Bond. Ego. Another word for it. Remember Man of Steel had really bad product placement in it too. Or noticeable. Or Love Actually with the Frosted Flakes right in the middle. Damn. Better than some BMW that Pierce Brosnan would drive. Subtle little nod. We might see that again pretty soon. Exotic location, David Arnold score, Aston Martin car, silenced Walther PPK. This is James Bond. Love it. Man, I would never watch the Emoji Movie in a million years. It looks just such like a waste of time. There's the dog again. Oh, that's Michael G. Wilson, the producer. Yeah, there's many more movies on my watch list that I think will be much more worthwhile. Man, Ava Green is so beautiful. And her necklace looks like the Samsonite logo. Is it Samsonite? Probably just crazy. It's a logo of something. Meaning she was looking at is PG-13, remember? There's James Bond. I always love this scene. The shot when he walks closer towards the mirror and looks over to his left. The medium. It's not really a close-up. Close medium. Boom. Look over to the left. Oh. Cinematography and the hero shot at its finest. Which one will be the next one to watch? Like, meaning the watch along? I was thinking about doing Quantum of Solace, but that movie's not really well received, so I was thinking, like, I don't think many people will be wanting to watch that movie on a watch along, so maybe Skyfall. But yeah, Daniel is very charming. dinner jackets, and these are dinner jackets. F you, buddy. It's a Swiss bank account. Did Roger Deakins do this movie? Ah, gotcha. I was like, I don't think Roger Deakins did this movie. And I'm like, if he did, then I just didn't know. And it doesn't really look like him either. Like Martin Campbell does pretty standard blocking for his direction, but I mean, this is a good-looking movie too. Oh, I bet he would. Yeah, maybe I'll watch Quantum of Solace by myself and then watch Skyfall with you guys. What do you guys think? Okay, I'm just gonna go to the bathroom, but we'll leave the movie playing. I have seen it before, so don't worry, you guys don't need to pause it. I will be right back. Well, I love that. Everyone's got to be looking at your neckline, and Bond's the only one looking. Especially Mr. Bond. I love the sound of just like cards being flipped, like. Yeah. Jeffrey Wright would probably be the best Felix Leiter we've ever had. The most consistent, at least. That's the one role that's been constantly recast. Ouch. Yeah, I've never seen Westworld. I've heard it's good though. Oh, you slimy bastard. Yes, he is. RDR2? What does that stand for? I love that. How he doesn't say martini shaken, not stirred. I gotta think of a name for that. And then Vesper's like, oh, damn, that's a pretty good drink. Oh, yeah, Red Dead Redemption. Got it. Haven't beat the first game, but I enjoyed playing it from what I played. Why poker players don't wear sunglasses? Yeah, that's true. Here, let me just close the window. It's getting a bit cold in here. Oh, damn. I ripped my socks right before I went live, so I'm like, oh, crap. My feet are freezing. I'll talk about that when it comes. Brian, spoilers. I'm at the time shown on screen, dude. There's like a shorter version that you're watching. Because I don't know about you guys, but this is like, you know, the guys in Uganda have Lashif and his mistress. Unless I'm completely crazy. Because my time in the movie matches what's on screen. Maybe like a second off. Nice. I have the 50th anniversary Blu-ray. Like, this action just feels so gritty and so real and so raw. Something that the Bond films were missing for a while. Cheers, everyone. So this is the scene that Brian was talking about earlier. Some people say this is a little melodramatic. I don't really have a problem with it. It's a more realistic, down-to-earth, darker Bond movie. I think it fits. Oops, sorry. Blood on the hands not coming off. Isn't that like a direct call to Shakespeare? Was that Macbeth, right? Yeah, Nerdshot, I'd have to agree with you. Sean Connery, best Goldfinger, worst Diamonds Are Forever. Lazenby, only one movie. Roger Moore, Live and Let Die, worst, A View to a Kill. Spy Who Loved Me is great too. Dalton, both films are great. Brosnan, best GoldenEye, worst Diner of the Day. Craig, best, depending on the day, Skyfall or Casino Royale, and then worst, Quantum of Solace. Some people just don't understand what makes emotion in a movie feel real. It depends on who the person is. Emotion hits people differently. I haven't seen any of the other unofficial Bond movies, like the old Casino Royale or Never Say Never Again. Never seen any of them. That'd be fun. Christopher Nolan watch along would be cool. Not too sure which one would be. I'd love to see Christopher Nolan do a Bond movie though. Like he loves James Bond and he's used a lot of influence in his other movies. Like the opening of Dark Knight Rises is the same as the opening to License to Kill. Or they use the same stunt. Onto the chat in a second. Oh boy. Yeah, the director wanted Hans Zimmer as well. Be interesting to hear his score for a Bond film. Yeah, his ego right there. Yeah, who knows if Tenet's going to come out on time. I doubt it. I doubt it. But yeah, what other watch-alongs you guys want to do, let me know. I love that shot, just Bond just sitting there. He did two. Thomas Newman did Skyfall and Spectre. And yeah, Steven Spielberg was once slated to do a Bond film back in the 70s. But instead he did Indiana Jones instead. This movie has more characterization than all the Brosnan movies put together. He had potential. World is not enough. Electric King, there was potential there for a real character-driven Bond film, but he got the short end of the stick. You will soon, Mr. Bond. Mr. Bond. Yeah, see, his ego's like, I cannot take this. I gotta kill him. I'll just kill him right now. Sure. Thank you, CIA. Yeah, that scene's coming up, Chris. This is a great scene in the movie, too. See you, Chris. Thanks for sticking along. May the force be with you, too. Uh-oh. crap. Oh. I've seen this movie before, so I know what happens, but like... Ah! Oh, great. Thank God she knew what to do. Great little bit of comedy there. Yeah, you start to see the Bond comedy, tongue-in-cheek humor coming back. Shit. It's the worst feeling in the world losing money at a poker table, or any table for that matter, at like Las Vegas or whatever. It's funny how you can get a poker scene to be so intense. Martin Campbell, man, he's able to do it. I want to bet at a Las Vegas table like that. $10. 10. What's good? What's good? Yo. This makes me want to go to Vegas. Ah. A little bit of salt in the wound, that last little. Now I really want to play online poker. They're all really good hands. They are. I love this. I love it. Boom. You see all the blood coming down his face? Masterful. They make a good team, Felix and Bond. I like that we can see Felix in the next movie. No Time to Die. This is a great scene too. Get to really explore the human side of James Bond. You smooth one. Makes me wish Quantum of Solace was better. This scene. It's like there was so much room for this story to grow. And of course, if you guys have seen Quantum of Solace, then you know what happens. Nothing happens. Nothing at all. This shot right here was used in the trailer. I love it. Where he gets into the Aston Martin. Yeah, but other better movies came out at that time too. So they like to use that as an excuse. And sure, it's a good one, but then again, we also had some pretty good movies coming out around that time. Yeah. I remember seeing this for the first time. I was so angry. It's like, Mathis, you bitch. How could you do that to 007? How could you? You're tearing me apart, Mathis. Yeah. Michael Bay Transformers is a whole other story. Be a fun watch along, hey? Probably need a bit more booze to get through those ones. But yeah, I remember I had a friend at the time when we would watch this movie all the time, and he'd be like, "Yo, that scene was on this test track course." Every single time he'd say that. Now this is a great scene too. It's not overtly sexual though. And you don't see anything. And that's when he realizes, arm yourself because no one else here will save you. And he's realizing that he's just a blunt instrument of the government and no one's going to come to save him. I don't think so. License to Kill was PG-13, I believe. You would never find this in a Roger Moore movie, ever. Love how he keeps his composure. Yeah, but not like this, though. Oh man, this scene's so good. But yeah, I'd say this is a lot darker than the scene where he kicks the car in For Your Eyes Only. Literally the perfect timing. James Bond almost became Jamie Bond right there. You'll get to soon enough, Cam. No Time to Die. Can't wait. If everyone does their social distancing part, everyone does what the CDC and the government recommends, we'll get through it. We'll see No Time to Die real soon. Yeah, that's true, Steven. He doesn't kill the main villain. I think this is where they shot the Star Wars prequels, Naboo. I believe this is shot in Italy. I believe. I'm not too sure about that, but it looks... Yeah, I believe this is the same spot where they shot Anakin and Padme's scene in Star Wars Episode 2, Attack of the Clones. And I've never heard it being called the Chinese virus. Not too sure if that's an American thing or not, but up here in Canada, I've never heard anyone call it that, ever. Ooh, he's too smooth. Oh, damn. Vesper wants him too now. She wants to be on D. Maybe that's why they call him Bond. It's a terrible joke. Some Swiss chocolate would sound really good right now. Vesper. Love this line. Any normal man might just say thank you, but Bond being Bond says... Classic. Classic. And yes, James Bond was an author for a birdwatching book. So Stephen's right. Great line. Great line. I think you can. Ooh, said the L word. This is the first time where it really dives into the whole fact that, you know what, like, being an MI6 00 agent licensed to kill, it, like, what effect does that have on the soul? You know, like, James Bond is constantly sleeping around with all these women. It's because he just can't get close to anybody. He can't have a family. He's an assassin. And then here's Venice. Never been to Italy before, but I'd love to go one day. And there's your Sony Vaio computer. Hereby tender my resignation with immediate effect. Sincerely, James Bond. 007. What is Vesper? Vesper is her name. And since that he loves her, that was the password. Yep. But no spoilers just in case anyone hasn't seen this movie, which some people haven't. I did find this a little weird. The guy with the one sunglass. And the classic disappears after something crosses by. I guess it's a reference to Largo, but in the context of the movie, hate movies that do what? Have villains with defects? Oh, with the gotcha. I gotcha. Yeah. When movies do the you see someone, then something comes across. Yeah. Harry in Spider-Man 3. There's a bunch more. It's kind of like whenever someone falls into a river, there's always a waterfall. Yeah, I guess he was also there in Moonraker too. Oh boy. Oh, there's a problem. A big, big, big problem. I love how in this scene, he turns from that naive guy, I'm gonna resign from the MI6. I love this girl, and then boom, professional MI6 trained to kill 007 agent. I disagree with you, Heidi. I think she fits perfectly, especially when you see this scene. You'll have to see the movie to find out. You'll find out pretty soon. I'm seeing your mention in your Instagram story right now. Yeah, yours, Cam. Be right back, guys. And that's why he had the one sunglass. Oh. This scene's a tough one to watch. The most emotion we've ever seen Bond have. More than License to Kill, more than Skyfall. It's a tough scene to watch. Masterfully shot. And then just to add insult to injury, Mr. White. With the money. Damn. I'm not paying attention to the CGI birds right now, dude. There's more pressing issues at hand. I believe the job is done, the bitch is dead. I think that's from the Casino Royale novel. So what I've heard. I haven't read it, but correct me if I'm wrong. We can talk about the movie for about 10 minutes afterwards. If you guys want to have a little discussion. Yeah, bitch is dead from Negan. Maybe not too much detail, just on the wrong spots. The most emotionally gratifying scene in the movie where Bond turns from, man to 00 agent. Is that a CGI bird? Just giving you a hard time. First time we hear the 007 theme, too. Now he's wearing the suit, too. The evolution. What a way to start a movie and to end a movie, especially for James Bond's first mission. All right, everyone. That was my very first watch along. That went better than I expected. I don't know. Like, when you do these things for the first time, you're like, oh, is anyone going to show up? It's an older movie. It's not really... Like, there isn't a new movie coming out, at least for a while. But yeah, this was fun. So, basically, I'm going to stick around for another 10 minutes. I'll stop the timer. Let's do that. Stop the timer. And if you guys want to stick around for another 5 or 10 minutes, we can discuss the movie. Taylor said that she was confused. And basically, when Vesper Lynd was captured, and when James Bond was being tortured, she said, okay, if you spare James Bond's life, I'll give you the money. And then, obviously, James Bond's life was spared. And then she gave Mr. White, the man at the end, the money. And, that was about it. So... if you guys want to send any questions into the chat, and have any final thoughts, requests, well, thanks for sticking around, Cam. I appreciate it. I hope you have a good night and stay safe. Wash your hands. And it's I've seen this movie so many times, but it's still great. I think it's between this and Skyfall is my favorite James Bond movie. And then I'd say probably Goldfinger, and then Living Daylights, GoldenEye, and License to Kill. It's while I may enjoy watching... See, this is the thing. I might enjoy watching GoldenEye and the Timothy Dalton films more than Goldfinger, only because Goldfinger is a bit older. But you watch Goldfinger and you just can't, deny how classic it is and where all the inspiration came from for the rest of the series. Like, that one really perfected the formula. So, feel free to put down any questions, any comments, any concerns, any thoughts of the movie. I think Heidi was talking about how the girlfriend doesn't fit the tone of the film. I don't know. I disagree. I disagree completely. She was supposed to be the woman who was supposed to, get James Bond to fall in love. I bought their chemistry. And, the world of spies and espionage is all about double-crossing and who can you trust. And I think that her character fits that perfectly. And, of course, being a James Bond movie, she has to be beautiful. And she, Eva Green, she's a great actress and she's beautiful. And I do buy their chemistry. So I'm I might not agree with that statement, but I mean, hey, to each their own. So, yeah, I'm a big fan of Vesper Lynd. She might be my favorite Bond girl of all time, next to Natalia in GoldenEye, Melina in For Your Eyes Only, Tracy on Her Majesty's Secret Service, Tatiana Romanova in not For Your Eyes Only, From Russia with Love. I like her a lot too. You gotta, give respects to Solitaire. You gotta give respects to Honey Rider and Pussy Galore. Best name ever in a Bond girl, for a Bond girl, right? Next to Dr. Goodhead from Moonraker, although she was not a very good actress in that one. So, yeah, this movie's such a great Bond movie. So, yeah, I'm just trying to think of things to say until more people come in with comments. But, yeah, I mean, like the action scenes are so great. They're so grounded. They're so real. I'm sure that there was a bit of CGI used in the sinking house at the end in Venice. But I mean, like the Miami airport scene, it's just so intense, so great. The opening action sequence in Madagascar with the free running, especially coming after the Brosnan films. Tomorrow Never Dies definitely had a lot of action. The story didn't really make up for it. World Is Not Enough had the story, at least it had the ideas, the action scenes, not so much. Of course, it had the boat scene, and then, Die Another Day was just a mess. After Die Another Day, they definitely needed to reboot the franchise, new actor, start from the beginning. They finally got the rights to make Casino Royale and bring back Martin Campbell, the guy who's made Bond movies before. So I thought this is a great movie. And, unfortunately, Quantum of Solace was not as great. You can thank the editing sequences for that. Right from the beginning, as soon as that movie starts, you're like, wow, this is way too much to handle. The editing and then the underwhelming song, it just doesn't, I don't know, it's an okay movie. It's not terrible, but in between Casino Royale and Skyfall, Quantum of Solace is definitely like the black sheep. And then depending on if you like Spectre or if you don't like Spectre. I actually enjoyed Spectre quite a bit. I got to watch it again, obviously in the context of watching all the Bond movies in a row. And yeah, Casino Royale is just a great movie. David Arnold's score, Daniel Craig's performance, the script definitely going more into the human side of Bond. This is a great movie. So, anyways, that's about it. My first watch along in the bag. I can't believe it went this successful. So, anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys want to watch anything else with me for another watch along, definitely let me know down in the comment section, in the chat. Message me on Instagram and follow me on Instagram at BrandoCritic. And of course, if you have not already, please hit like and subscribe. It helps me out a ton. And during this whole COVID-19 crisis, the channel has been really taking off because I definitely have a lot more time to make videos and interact with you guys and everything. So let's say that the action scenes are like an orgasm to the brain. I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, they're great, but I think they also service the story. They're not action scenes for the sake of action scenes. Every single action scene in this movie is, rooted in story. There's definitely, there's a reason for them to be happening. Not, it doesn't feel like, oh, we need to have the action sequences in this movie because it is a James Bond film. We need to have explosions. We need to have, it felt like that sometimes with some of the earlier, especially the Brosnan movies. But yeah, not sure if I'm remembering correctly, but does Quantum Solace start right after Casino Royale? Yeah, it like starts a couple hours afterwards. At least that's what Michael G. Wilson and Barbara Broccoli said in some interviews. And yeah, it does take place right afterwards. Yeah, and it's a shame because if that movie, like as soon as that movie came out, you're like, okay, Daniel Craig's tenure as Bond, is that going to be a memorable one or a like one that falls to the wayside, kind of like Brosnan, where it's like, okay, well, you have one great movie, then you have one really lackluster movie. So, and then you have Skyfall, which most people think is great. And then you have Spectre, which is pretty split. I mean, most Bond fans do enjoy it, and it's a really competently made movie. It's really well directed, but I think the problems with that one is the script and some of the choices that they made. I know a lot of people think that it's like a Roger Moore Bond film, made today. I do see that. But, yeah, again, I'll have to watch it all again. I definitely do plan on doing a tier list for this, but I'm thinking, do I do a tier list now and then just review No Time to Die and then redo the tier list afterwards? Definitely makes for more videos and more chances for views and subscribers, but then again, we'll have to make the same video twice, but with just one extra movie on there. So, but yeah, the film stays close to the novel and at the same time modernize it, and what you got was something different. Yeah, again, like I think the game, what's that game that they play in Doctor No and in GoldenEye and so many other Bond films, like Baccarat, I think that's what it's called. But yeah, I mean, updating it for 2000s technology and not having it, he's James Bond is a womanizer, sure, and he sleeps around, but it's for the job, and it's not overly misogynistic or overly sexualized. The main Bond girl is a romantic interest, and that's like the main part of the story. And then of course in the next movie, you have Camille, and it's like, oh, we're following up Ava Green's Vesper Lynd with this. And then again, you have like Madeline Swan. You have like Severine in Skyfall, but she's not really the Bond girl. Judi Dench's M is the Bond girl in Skyfall. And then you have Monica Bellucci, who I believe was supposed to be in World Is Not Enough, or one of the older Bond movies. And then you have Madeline Swan, who I mean, I like Léa Seydoux, but I don't really see her as like James Bond's soulmate, like they make her out to be in the movie. I don't know. It just, something about them together, it just seems a little strange. She does look gorgeous in that blue dress though. But yeah, it's like you enjoy Spectre for what it was. So again, I don't really know what that means for what it was. For like, okay, it's not the best movie, but you enjoy it just because for what it was. But yeah, like I always thought that Spectre was a gorgeous looking movie, and it had really, really great elements, but I've said this to a couple of Bond movies, especially For Your Eyes Only, and Tomorrow Never Dies, where it's like it's less than the sum of its parts, where it's like you look at everything in the movie, it's like, okay, this should work, but then when you watch it as a whole, you're like, yeah, that was good, but it's no Casino Royale, it's no GoldenEye, it's no Skyfall, it's no, I would say License to Kill or Living Daylights, but that's because I'm a fan of the Dalton movies. Some people really don't like those because, they expect the humor and they expect, the gadgets, and well, I think Living Daylights had enough gadgets in it. Nothing too crazy, no exploding pen or anything like that. But regardless, yeah, Casino Royale is a great movie, and I enjoyed watching it. So, but yeah, guys, I'll stay on here for about another 2 minutes. See if there's any other questions or any other comments or concerns. But yeah, it's a great movie. It's a great movie, and I don't know if you can see this. I'll move the camera, but right back there. Oh, you can barely see it, but there's the Skyfall poster back there. Yeah, I was thinking about what poster to get, and I saw the Skyfall one. I said, you know what, I'll get that one, because that was the first Bond movie I ever saw in theaters. So like I became a Bond fan after Quantum of Solace came out, and that's when I got. I must have seen Dine of the Day maybe before that, but who knows. Yeah, so only a couple of films left, and then I guess, yeah, the idea with the Dalton movies was to do something different, to do it like more hardcore. And it's funny because like I remember like I was watching some documentaries about the Dalton movies, and everyone was complaining, all the fans are complaining, like, this is too dark, it's too serious. Everyone was so accustomed to seeing Roger Moore, and Roger Moore is definitely like the most comedic James Bond, most lighthearted. Like they were, I don't want to say they were kids films, but going from Roger Moore to Timothy Dalton was like, the serious meter went up, a crazy amount. And then, like, I think they were just ahead of their time, because then Daniel Craig comes along, and, after people got sick and tired of the Pierce Brosnan movies, then Daniel Craig comes along with this more serious tone, and then everyone's like, oh, we love the serious tone. And I'm like, oh, it's such a shame, because Dalton did not get the same amount of love from the fans. And when people talk about James Bond, people always remember Sean Connery, and then the new generation remembers Daniel Craig. And then, Timothy Dalton just always falls down to the wayside. And I think that, his two movies were excellent. I have 2 reviews on my channel for that. Favorite intro theme? I'm assuming you mean just like the song. Man, it's a tough one, but I love A View to a Kill. I love License to Kill. I love Living Daylights. I love Nobody Does It Better. Nobody Does It Better is amazing. You Know My Name is great. Skyfall is wonderful. No Time to Die is really good too, by Billie Eilish. I mean, Goldfinger's classic. I wouldn't really listen to it like on my own, but that one's classic. Live and Let Die by Wings is great. I have a soft spot for Man with the Golden Gun, and I have a soft spot for World Is Not Enough by Garbage. They're not my favorites, but I do have a soft spot for them. And I have a soft spot for All Time High by Rita Coolidge. I don't know why, but a lot of people hate that song. They're like, it's my least favorite song. My least favorite one would go to Another Way to Die by Alicia Keys and Die Another Day by Madonna. But I don't actually mind the song, but in the context of James Bond, I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one. Yeah, Live and Let Die is great. I wasn't a big fan of Diamonds Are Forever. Not a big fan of Moonraker. But you know, like all the songs have like their. I'm not a big fan of Sheryl Crow's Tomorrow Never Dies. That one I'm not a big fan of. That one feels so generic and underwhelming. You know, and then you have I'm missing one. I'm definitely missing one. I know you have some of the older ones like, you know, From Russia with Love. I guess it's not the opening title sequence, but that's so classic. You Only Live Twice is great too. Thunderball I can do without. That one horn line that they use throughout the movie is it gets annoying real quick. But yeah, all the James Bond songs have a little special place in my heart because, you know, they're James Bond songs. And it's cool to think that there's a franchise out there that, you know, people get so invested in. It's like, which singer is going to do the next song? You know, and we keep, like, you know, people speculate. And, you know, I was thinking about doing a top 5 list of artists that I'd want to hear, you know, do a James Bond song. It's like back in the day, I think Genesis would have been a great choice because, you know, they're a British rock band. Phil Collins is my favorite artist of all time. But then nowadays you're like, okay, who's a hot star right now, who's, you know, recent enough, but then also could, you know, kind of fit that Bond sound, but also kind of make it unique because you don't want it to always sound the same. You know, like Billie Eilish, like you hear the song Bad Guy and then you hear like No Time to Die and it's like, wow, you wouldn't think that would work, but it really does. And then, so like Dua Lipa, I think could work. Charlie Puth, I think could work. Lana Del Rey, I think could work. Rihanna, I think her voice is very unique enough that it could fit a James Bond song. I know that's an unpopular opinion. Or like Lady Gaga, you know, have you seen her sing Sound of Music at the Oscars? I think she could do a great job too. Yeah, and it's like Johnny Cash, you know, like there's so many great songs that didn't get chosen, like Johnny Cash's. Then there's Alice Cooper, who didn't get chosen. I think, but my favorite rejected song was Forever, I'm All Yours for Quantum of Solace. I think that song is so much better than the original or the Another Way to Die song that they used. So I was thinking about doing a video about that, but who knows. So anyways, guys, I'm going to call it off tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. This was a lot of fun. I didn't know how this was going to go. My very first watch along. My first time going live on YouTube. And yeah, so it's like I got my new setup. So I had my camera used as a webcam. And I had like the, you know, the timer down here. If I can find my mouse, like, you know, down here. You can see my mouse go really big like that. And I was like, oh God, how's it going to work? But you know what? You guys were great. So anyways, guys, if you guys want me to do any more watch-alongs, definitely let me know. Follow me on Instagram, DM me there. Hey, man, you should do a watch-along of this movie. If you guys want me to do any more reviews of anything, any more 007 content, there's more coming on this channel. The Pierce Brosnan tier list will be coming out this Sunday at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so mark your calendars. And yeah, this was fun. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining. Wash your hands. Stay safe. And I'll see you guys in the next video. And I'll see you guys in the next watch along too. So, good night, everyone. Stay safe.